A Globe Trophy makes it 32 wins for the 32, plus other World 100 notes. Eldora Speedway hires a GM. The High Limit Championship is out of reach after a strange Tusky weekend, and more from around the country. Let's go. It's Sunday, September 8th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Coming up on Friday this week, the Xtreme Outlaw Midgets return to racing after a few weeks off with a stop at Southern Illinois Raceway. The 8th mile at SIR should provide some great bull ring action. If you want to go, I've got a ticket deal for you. If you use code DIRTRACKR when you purchase, you'll get $5 off per ticket. That means you can see the Xtreme Outlaw Midgets for less than $20 a ticket. Head over to DIRTRACKR.com/extreme or click the links below in the video description and enter the code before you select your seats. Ken McIntosh is the current series points leader, and Xtreme is a great series to check out the young stars of tomorrow, people like Ryan Timms and Jade Avedissian battling against some of the top veterans. 8 different winners this season, including guys like Zach Dahm and Thomas Meserol. So head up DIRTRACKR.com/extreme or the links below in the video description. Use code DIRTRACKR for $5 off your tickets. First up on the Sunday, it was a big crown jewel weekend at Eldora with the 54th running of the World 100. Yesterday, before racing action got started, they did a very nice celebration of life for Scott Bloomquist. If you didn't get a chance to watch, it is available over on Flow Racing for you on demand. It was a touching tribute to the legend and included his final laps around Eldora. Leading into Saturday, Hudson O'Neal won both of his prelim features while Ryan Gustin and Jonathan Davenport took the other two. And then after Saturday heat races in the two B-mains, I don't know that there were any real big surprises on guys that didn't make the show. And for the main event, it was all the usual suspects starting near the front. Dale McDowell, Garrett Alberson led the field to green and both took turns out front. By the end of the 100-lapper, we'd had 8 lead changes among 4 drivers, which was the most in quite a few years. Eldora has taken a considerable amount of flack in recent years for track prep and kind of the lack of excitement in these big main events with the late models. But I thought last night was really good. Eventual winner Bobby Pierce led the most laps with 45, but he did it in 4 different chunks while battling Alberson, then Davenport, then McDowell late. McDowell actually took the lead inside 10 to go. He looked strong, but Pierce was able to return the pass and lead the final 5 circuits en route to his second career World 100 score. McDowell settled for second with JD in third. With what we'd seen earlier in the week and heard from Davenport, his domination actually didn't end up continuing. I was a little bit surprised by that. Tim McCready and Devin Moran rounded out the top 5. Pierce was solid all weekend. He finished on the podium in both prelim shows, and he was actually second in the Dream back in June, so maybe we shouldn't be shocked by this with Pierce. He's now got 32 victories on the season and will carry a lot of momentum into this coming week's World of Outlaws races, where he's still trying to track down Brandon Sheppard for the Outlaw title. A couple of other notes on some other drivers. We did not end up seeing Mike Marlar at all this weekend, which I still find surprising. He never posted anything to his social media website as to why he was absent, and I haven't seen it really covered anywhere else. Neither he nor Skyline teammate Tyler Bruning raced at Eldora. It's been a tough season for Marlar. He didn't make the Dream main event back in June and is way down in the Lucas standings. They lost a tire while leading their heat race at the Baltus Classic before the World started, and they haven't raced since. I had a comment on my video from last week that someone said that they were maybe down on power at the Baltus, and that could be why they didn't race, but I haven't seen that confirmed. As for a few other drivers we talked about last week, Brandon Overton was solid on the prelim nights, but faded to 18th last night. The other Infinity by Wells in the big show was Ryan Gustin. He finished 9th. And Hunt the Front's Joseph Joyner saw his world end in a Saturday B-main with that new Capital chassis. He got caught up in an incident. He did lead laps, though, Thursday in the prelim feature before finishing 4th. He just couldn't hang on to a heat race transfer yesterday after starting on the pole. Still plenty of action to come this season at Eldora, with the 4 Crown next in a few weeks and the Dirt Track World Championship coming up in October. The other story to come out of Eldora this week was the announcement on their new general manager. Remember back to earlier this year, Eldora's GM Jerry Gappens passed away suddenly, and that position had been open ever since. Jonathan Bateman had taken up a lot of that responsibility in the meantime. If you don't know, Bateman has been a cornerstone guy at Eldora for many years, handling all sorts of jobs in the background. One of those guys I think a lot of fans probably don't know about, but you certainly know his work. But starting in about a week, Levi Jones will take over the position and lead Eldora going forward. Jones won 6 of his USAC championships driving for Tony Stewart. He then rose up through the USAC ranks as an official and an executive, and has been at IndyCar the past 3 years, most recently running the Indy NXT program. When the IndyCar season ends after Nashville, Jones will transition to his new role at Eldora. And from what I know about Jones, I think this is a very solid hire. I think one that makes a lot of sense on multiple fronts. And I'd say that Eldora is in very capable hands going forward. At Port Royal this weekend, the Kubota High Limit Sprint Cars were in town for the big Tuscarora 50 weekend. Back on Thursday, I don't think anyone would have guessed that Brad Sweet would have ended his months-long winless streak at Port, especially on a night where Rico Abreu and Anthony Macri started on the front row. Rico led until pretty late in that one when Sweet drove up from 5th to take the top spot with just 8 laps left. Sweet drove on to his first win at Port since 2015, picked up his first win anywhere this year since May 16th. He definitely seemed a little relieved after that one in Victory Lane. Rico and Macri joined him on the night's podium. On Friday night, Aaron Reitzel handled the field for his first National Touring Sprint Car win since an Outlaw score at Ransomville in 2021. He was a Knoxville prelim winner in 2023, but obviously those aren't full-fledged Outlaw points nights. Reitzel had never previously led laps in a high-limit feature. Justin Whittle and Chase Dietz were podium finishers for the Pennsylvania posse. Some nasty crashes through the weekend, including an ugly tumble for Anthony Macri. Devin Borden left the ballpark on Friday, and Corey Day with a big one early in the main event on Saturday. Keep an eye on Borden and that Stamen team for silly season. There's some rumblings out there that a change might be coming there. Borden has just a single victory this season and struggled all weekend at Port. Last night for the finale, Rico Abreu, the big winner, picking up his second big paycheck in as many weeks. Last week, it was the $100,000 at Skagit. This week, $58,000 for the Tusky. He took the lead from pole sitter Lance DeWeese on lap 15 and never looked back. Unfortunately, though, all anyone seems to be talking about today is the track latching down basically right after the halfway break. A rubbered up surface for nearly half of what is essentially the track's crown jewel, certainly not what anyone was looking for. Rico managed it well, though, and his 24 team has now won 3 of their last 5 high-limit starts. They've moved past Tyler Courtney now into second in the championship standings. Sunshine with another weekend to forget. They were 5th on the opening night, but 17th and 24th the other 2. With just 9 high-limit races left in 2024, Brad Sweet's advantage is 230 points. I said last week that unless Rico and Courtney could make big progress this week at a track that's, a weak one for Sweet, things were probably over. And with 3 nights at Port Royal in the books now, I think this one is over, friends. High limits at Lernerville this coming weekend for 2 nights. Out in California, the World of Outlaws West Coast swing is off and running. Friday night at Stockton, it was Buddy Kofoid topping Shane Golubic for his second win in a row following that big score at Huset's. That reprofiled Stockton dirt track was a problem earlier this year, but I thought it raced pretty well on Friday. It was a big improvement from that NARC show there back in the spring. A lot of changes there at Stockton the last couple of months. Last night at Hanford, it was all Carson Macedo for the Tom Tarleton Classic. He led all 35 from the pole, topping Shelton Hodenshield and Kofoid. I thought this couple of weeks out west could be an opportunity for Macedo to try and make this Outlaw Championship into a real fight, but while progress was made, no big bump just yet. Macedo finished actually behind Gravel on Friday and lost ground, but made some more back up last night with the win. Macedo, though, did move into second with shots 12th and 10th the 2 nights. Headed to Bakersfield and Merced this week. Gravel leads Macedo by 110 and shots by 134. Other weekend open wheel winners included Brady Bacon bagging $10,000 with USAC last night at Texarkana 67 Speedway. He's still trying to run down Logan Seavey for that title with 7 races left. Danny Sams swept the IRA weekend, and Cap Henry won the AFCS finale and claimed the championship. Weekend Super Dirt Car Series wins went to Alex Payne Thursday at Brockville and Matt Williamson Friday at Can-Am. The Saturday show at Weedsport was rained out. And at Boone Speedway, the IMCA Super Nationals concluded with winners over the weekend. Dylan Thornton in the modified, Kelly Shryock in the stock car, Logan Anderson in the sport mod, and Nathan Ballard in the hobby stock. Oh, we'll call it good for there today. There are a few races happening today, so make sure to check out the streaming schedule over at DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.